A movie, also called a film or motion picture, is a work of visual art used to communicate stories, ideas, or artistic beauty through the use of moving images accompanied by sound. While there are great movies in history, unfortunately, there are also many flops that have been made. Welcome to the M Creations channel. In this video, we are going to take you on a journey through the cinematic abyss as we explore the top 10 worst movies ever made. From cringe-worthy acting to laughable special effects, these films have earned their infamous status. Join us as we dive into the depths of bad cinema. But beware, you might want to grab some popcorn for this one. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Number 10. Jaws: The Revenge. Steven Spielberg's 1975 masterpiece was the original blockbuster, and as fine a suspense film as has ever been. The immediate sequel was unnecessary, occasionally exciting, and definitely not entirely awful. Jaws 3D is hilarious. The fourth entry alternates between hilarious, fleetingly, and it's mostly unwatchable. This is the one where the shark carries a personal vendetta. This is the picture with one of cinema history's most infamous continuity errors. Michael Caine's shirt appears freshly tailored and dry right after he is submerged in the ocean. This is the one where the shark roars like the MGM lion. Number 9. The Last Days of American Crime. Interminably long comic book adaptation briefly trended on Netflix, and that's exactly where the accomplishments end. Taken 2 and Taken 3 director Olivier Megaton's nearly 3-hour stab at Scarface is abrasive and even kind of pathetic. Good actors like Michael Pitt and Edgar Ramirez are given nothing more to do than pose and shout dialogue. Shut the door! Critics unanimously agreed that crime was a crime against cinema. Its desperate desire to be edgy is laughable. For The Last Days of American Crime, edgy just equals a lot of screaming and self-conscious camera work. Number 8. Gold Diggers. Two broke losers enter a web of crime and scheming with rich old women who have nefarious plans of their own. Sounds like a decent enough premise for a vulgar, unassuming, lowbrow good time, right? Here's the problem, or at least arguably the biggest among myriad problems. Gold Diggers is PG-13. It's arguably the limpest enterprise under the National Lampoon banner, which is quite a feat. Number 7. Superbabies. Baby Geniuses 2. Oof, the worst movie of one of the best years for cinema ever. 1999's Baby Geniuses was a critically panned exercise in misery. The 2004 sequel, it's probably worth mentioning 2004 was also an uncommonly strong year for great film overall, is considerably worse. Uncanny valley effects that will haunt your nightmares, half-heartedly crude gags, and phoned-in adult performances are just a few of the noteworthy offenders in this groaner about enhanced toddlers trying to thwart a media mogul, Jon Voight's nefarious scheme to alter minds. Number 6. Pinocchio.
I was going to school till I met somebody.
A far, far cry from the 1940 Disney masterpiece, arguably the best animated movie ever, Roberto Benigni's follow-up to Oscar-winning. If Divisive Life is Beautiful comes off as a vanity project that should have been nipped in the bud. The hero's journey of a young wooden puppet boy earning his stripes is incredibly touching when it's told right. Here, with a grown man, it's off-putting in the extreme. Repellent, even. Number 5. Gotti. It's really important to note that John Travolta has, in better films, given some of the best-loved performances in film history. It's not fair to pin this all on him. Ridiculous crime biopic Gotti is like the Godfather from a multiverse, where every good filmmaking decision is replaced with a disastrous one. A side note here. Released 1 year later, Fred Durst's The Fanatic was trashed by critics similarly, perhaps a dogpile inspired by resentment at admittedly terrible Gotti. Flawed but never less than entertaining and occasionally inspired, The Fanatic is definitely a superior film to Gotti. It's oddly worth watching. Number 4. 1,000 Words. Eddie Murphy is one of the past century's most astonishing and revered comedic geniuses. 1,000 Words makes the fatal mistake of taking away his greatest asset as a performer, his voice. It's like hiring Channing Tatum for a dance movie, where he sits in a chair for most of the runtime. A queasily family-friendly magic realism heavy fable in the vein of Red ripped off of Liar Liar. 1,000 Words is arguably Murphy's worst film ever because it completely disregards the edge and verve that's always made him great. Number 3, Left Behind. A few years before the Nicolas Cage renaissance of Pig, Mandy, and more kicked off, the beloved, distinctly enigmatic Oscar winner was still stuck in mindless drivel like Left Behind, a mostly forgotten adaptation of the religious novels of the same name. It's a sci-fi tinged tale that concerns the rapture and those left behind. It really isn't fair to bash faith-based movies. Many movies about Christianity have even been truly beloved by critics. Left Behind is boring, though. Its worst crime is wasting the powder keg potential of its lead. He flies a plane in the movie. That's it.
I said do it now.
Number 2, One Missed Call. According to the Tomato Meter, this is the worst horror movie of all time. And yeah, it sucks. The runaway success of Gore Verbinski's The Ring led to a glut of uninspired J-horror remakes in the aughts. This is arguably the worst. Unlike other movies on this list, and countless bad horror movies, it isn't even fun bad though, it's just monotonous. You could put this on your bedroom TV to help you sleep. Based on 2003's Chakushinari, One Missed Callie's $20 million studio horror movie. Where did that money actually go? About a killer cell phone. It wants to be The Ring meets Final Destination, and it ultimately makes the admittedly flawed Final Destination movies look like top-tier Hitchcock. Number 1, Ballistic, Ecks versus Sever. According to critics via Rotten Tomatoes, this embarrassingly incompetent cyber espionage dumpster fire is the single worst movie ever made. World-class performers Antonio Banderas and Lucy Liu are trapped in a box office disaster that's technically an action movie, but plays out like it's intentionally designed to lull us to sleep. Is Ballistic, Ecks versus Sever worth seeing? Is it so bad it's good? The answer is probably not. More than anything, it's boring. And that's just a damn shame.
Freeze.
Well, there you have it, folks. The top 10 worst movies ever made. We hope you enjoyed this journey through the depths of cinematic disaster. If you've seen any of these films, let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more entertaining content. Until next time, stay away from bad movies and keep the popcorn buttered.